When it comes to setting up your motorcycle for ProMX, one of the most important considerations is getting as much traction from your motorcycle as you can. And the two obvious areas are suspension and tyres. Now we're about to take a step into the top secret Monster Energy CDR Yamaha truck and take a look at some very cool suspension parts. Let's head in. Now with motos around the length of 25 minutes plus a lap in the MX1 class, the main difference between the privateer bikes and the factory motorcycles is how much the suspension goes off at the end of the race. And one of the biggest factors here is the oil inside the forks and the shock. Now this is what the suspension oil looks like at the start of a moto when it's nice and thick and got full viscosity. As you can see, by the time this passes through the valving and the pistons, there's lots of resistance here to help with compression and rebound. And now here we can see in effect what the suspension oil looks like once it heats up at the end of the moto. You can see almost like water. And when it goes like that, it becomes so much easier to pass through the holes in these pistons. So the bigger the holes, once the oil starts to get watery, it passes through, and you're watching bikes at the end of the race and they start to become more active, softer in the compression, faster in the rebound. The suspension goes off a lot quicker once that oil goes off. Now continuing on with the traction theme, we're here at Raceline Husqvarna T-Dub team, and we have got Todd Waters' bike and we have got Regan Duffy's bike. Both look identical, both running sand paddle tyres. However, they both have a completely different setup. If we look at Todd Waters' bike here, he runs a Moose tube, which is complete solid rubber, absolutely solid. You could stick a screwdriver in this, you could run over a nail. There is no way that you are getting a puncher with this. But a couple of things to consider. We've got extra weight, and it gives the back of the bike a little bit of a dead feel out there on the track. Not quite as active. And we have a look at Regan Duffy's bike here. Same tyre, but runs a completely different tube setup. A normal traditional tube, and this is Maxxis heavy duty tube. And you can decide what tyre pressure you want to run, whether you want to run 10, 12, 14. The lower the tyre pressure, the more your tyre spreads, gives you a little more traction, but it's the same old thing. Do you go for the insurance policy of the Moose tube and no risk of a puncher, or do you go the extra feel, a little bit of extra traction of the normal tube like Regan Duffy has? Well, there you have it, guys. Both Regan Duffy and Todd Waters both running identical Maxxis rear ends with their tyre selection, but both completely different when it comes to their tubes. One being Moose, one being a normal tube. But the topic, of course, is traction. Whether it's suspension or it's your tyre choice, traction is the key.